Hey, this is Walter Hampton. I'm sitting here today with Samuel P. Holloway, and this is part two of our conversation about sex parties, the reckless sex here in Atlanta, the sexual addiction. You're on Facebook, and there's a dark side to Facebook that a lot of people may not know exists. A lot of people use Facebook to as a sex. What would you call it? A sex what? Sex book?
A sex book.
Okay, so
they
you use it
just
to
hooking up.
They use it for a hookup.
They use it like it's one of these sex apps or a meet and greet app.
So they have private groups on Facebook where we may have a regular profile, but then they have this other in the sex group. They lead a completely different life than what they present on the clean side.
I mean, you see the same when this person is in this group versus when this person is on regular Facebook. It's the same profile picture, it's the same other pictures, the same posting, but when you're in this group, of course, it's a private group, so the only people that can see it are you all that's in this group. Okay. So you get a totally different person from the person that you're seeing that's on Facebook versus in the group.
All right. So in the groups, the guys are running around meeting each other to have sex. And so a lot of them just are they meeting for the instant hookups, random hookups?
Yeah,
okay.
These are not just these are not let me get to know you. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to the movies. Yeah. These are just random. I'm horny. Hit me up. Where you're at? Do you have a friend? What's going on?
So they're in the groups. They're showing naked pictures.
It's not just naked pictures. It's videos. I mean, it's everything. Homemade videos. That anything that you could think about sex. Period. Point blank. Mm-hmm. That's what goes on within these groups. Yeah, these are not just naked pictures. These are people that have come in them. These are videos of people having unprotected sex.
There's no condom being used there.
Yeah. Well, that's just somebody jacking off. But, when you no condom. And these people are located, in this particular group here in Atlanta. And, they might be some people that you may know.
Yeah, I'm looking at these names and stuff. I never recognize some of these people.
Yeah, and they have sex parties to where, they give the location. Mm-hmm. It's going to be $10 all night. They provide condoms and lube, but you bring your own bottle.
So a lot of these guys love these sex parties.
I think it's the thrill. It's whatever you want to do.
Nobody's using a condom.
Nobody in this group uses a condom.
Oh, this is a raw freak group too. Well, I'm sorry, but it's for raw sex, which is what they're doing.
Yes, everybody is raw in this group. Everybody is raw in this group.
It's interesting. I mean,
everybody. You don't see not one condom being used unless they
that's the sling.
That's the sling. Yeah, and they vote. It's it's who has the best sex parties. Where can we go to
the sex party too in Washington D.C.
Yeah, it gives you notifications of other sex parties that's going to be around your area. They have outside sex, at pool, garage, wherever you're going to be at, they're going to do it. Everywhere.
How much sex do you think these guys have on a regular basis? I mean, I like sex like anybody else, but God, how much sex do you think these guys... If you had a sex party one night, do you go back to another sex party the next night? How much sex do you think these guys are going on?
From in the group, I can tell that a particular person has a party every Friday. Every Friday, every Thursday night, there's a notification that comes up on my Facebook to let me know, hey, there's a sex party that's going to be located here. It's going to cost this to get in. It's the same person that's hosting a party. It's the same people that's liking it.
Do your friends like these parties? Do you ever get friends?
None of my friends.
Okay. Have you ever discussed, when you talk to people and you're out in the community like I am. What do people think about these parties? I mean, do people?
To me, I mean, like you can go to a club, and you can hear, hey, they call after hours is going on tonight. It's gonna be popping. It's gonna be live. Let's go.
So they're announced this at the club.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So,
this is like a regular thing.
Do you think this is one of the reasons why Atlanta's HIV rates are so high?
Yes. Why wouldn't it be? Because you have to think about this. If you have people that are coming to the parties that are negative, and you have, let's say you have 5 people at the party that are negative, but you got 45 people at the party that are all positive.
Do you think
they just infected them people?
Do you think a negative person actually go into these parties and do this?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they have to in order for the HIV rate to continue to climb, right?
No, of course. Very strange to me.
To me, I think that, do
you think it's behavior, suicidal, reckless behavior? Do people really just think that HIV really is nothing anymore? I mean, because I always say this: HIV is not a death sentence anymore.
And that's exactly what it is. Because they feel that it's not a death sentence, they feel that they can go out and be reckless with it. They don't care. There's no repercussions behind it. I'll take that pill.
This is concerning me. That what if you're in a sex party, you've been doing this for years, and all of a sudden you want to stop this behavior, and you want to get into a relationship, you want to be with one person. Does this background with you having been actively involved in sex parties, does it have an effect on your dating?
I believe it will have an effect on your dating. You have to think about who knows you, who saw you at these parties. So when you're out with your mate or... if you guys have social media, somebody has to come back and say something to your mate about it.
Do you think couples go to these sex parties?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have couples. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So, but nobody cares these days.
Nobody cares. I mean, obviously not if they have groups that have high numbers. Nobody cares.
How many people were in that group that you were just looking at?
I want to say...
Was it thousands?
Couple hundred, maybe? How about I go info? Members. No, I don't know how to tell.
How many people?
It doesn't say.
Okay. Someone because
it keeps saying see more.
So I'm
just scrolling. Oh, okay. This one has 64.
Okay, so it's not so bad.
That's not so bad, but that one has 494.
That's a sex group too?
Just about. That one has 138.
Do you think guys come to Atlanta because the sex is so readily available so they can participate in these sex parties and sex groups and threesomes and foursomes?
Yes.
What do these guys, when the sex is over, what's next?
Nothing. I mean, it's life, do what you're going to do the next day, and probably the day after that you're going back to another sex party or another hookup.
I mean, I'm just curious, if you're at a sex party, you got gonorrhea, you got syphilis, you got
hepatitis C,
trichinosis. Any concern about any of this stuff?
I didn't see a concern on anybody's face other than trying to get their nut. Everybody looked happy. Everybody looked like they were coming to a party. This was something regular. It wasn't nothing out of the norm. I didn't see anybody that looked surprised.
Now, you said your ex would go to sex parties. How did you find out that he was participating in this stuff? You found out after your relationship was over?
After our relationship was over.
So when you were with him, he was actually sneaking out to sex parties?
Every time we went to Chicago, he went to a sex party. He went to the bathhouse.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No. Okay. I found out December 31st or December 25th. It was around Christmas and New Year's. And this was 2009 going into 2010.
Do they ever turn people away from these sex parties? You ever seen them?
No. Because you're paying your money, so you can get in. It doesn't matter. I think the private ones where they hosting at somebody's house, they may have a certain list again of, no fat, no film, things like that. But generally, nobody is getting turned away because everybody's trying to collect them coins.
Gotcha. So you're just trying to get money.
Yeah.
Do you think the people who have these parties, do they also participate in parties, you think?
They hosted it, of course they're going to participate.
So they're not just in it for financial gain, they're also in it for the enjoyment of the party also. Would you, if you knew someone, and because I know you're dating a guy now,
Yes.
in a relationship, but would you have dated somebody that you knew had participated in this type of behavior?
Hell no. For what? I mean, because to me, it's like...
What if they stop? They don't want to do this?
No, I'm not going. I feel like when you date somebody that has been to a lot of sex parties, that is going to be their main focus. You know, you're not going to be able to complete them. You're not going to be able to make them whole. They're not going to be satisfied. They're going to always want more.
So even if they swore up and down they're no longer interested in that type of behavior, you don't think it's a good idea to date people who are involved?
My husband is my ex is a prime example.
You think he's still running around doing
Hell yeah. Yes. He's still on A for $40. Why wouldn't he be?
What do you mean A for $40? What do you mean?
He's selling himself on Adam for $40.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so he does male escorting and prostitution.
You can't even call it that. You gotta call it, I need some help.
I mean, $40, that's all.
Ain't gas money when you ain't got a car. So I'm just gonna say you trying to eat.
That's cheap.
You trying to eat.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. But when you look good, my ex is fine, you know. So when you look good,
you had to get more than $40. He's off that. I mean, I don't know. I thought that escorting paid a lot more than $40 a session.
It all depends on your mind frame. It all depends on where you're trying to go with it. If you're just trying to get by, $40 is a good price for you. So
I would not be out escorting a prostitute for no $40. You can forget that. $400.
That's still cheap.
Wow.
I escorted before.
How much did you charge?
I was charging $1,000 to $1,500 a night.
Wow, that was pretty good money.
But it all depends on who's the people that you're selling yourself to. Mm-hmm. If you're selling yourself to another broke person, how do you expect to get money?
Yeah, $40 is just...
That's an insult.
It is an insult.
What are you out there for?
Is he on drugs or something?
I don't know. I can't honestly say that.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of these guys use Adam for Adam, Grindr, and Jack. Is this something that's just has become a normal part of our community?
This is an everyday thing for us.
So we just accept this
yes.
Sexual dysfunction. We now accept it as normal.
Yes, I mean think about when you go out to the club or when you go to a restaurant where you are around a lot of the gay community. You hear that.
Oh yeah,
you hear that notification, and it's like
constant. I used to train clients at the gym, and they would get on my nerves. They would not put those cell phones down, and I look on the phones. They were on Jack and Grindr, just scrolling and communicating. I was like, put that damn phone. You can do this shit after the gym.
Yeah, but you got to think, when they're at the gym, they're not at home. So this is a whole group of people that they get to see that's in their radius. If Jack goes up to 5 miles within your vicinity. So if you're not at home, if you're out and about at LA Fitness or McDonald's, whatever the case you may be, you're at a new place where you have up to 5 miles of new faces.
So I've been criticized for discussing this type of stuff. Why do people get so angry about
Because people get angry about things that they're doing. When you are speaking the truth, you are always going to hit somebody. Only dogs bark when they're hit, So by you speaking about this today, somebody's going to get pissed off. It's just going to be because they're actually doing it. Mm-hmm. Nobody gets mad if they're not doing it.
But my whole thing is, if this is what you're doing,
being honest, tell somebody, be upfront.
Yeah.
No.
So a lot of these guys,
you have to think about that. We can't even be honest when we're gay. We say that we've never been there, we won't do that, but you're living a DL lifestyle. You're having sex with men and women. So why would somebody tell you that they're going to a sex party? Why would somebody reveal their HIV status to you? These are a lot of stigmas within our communities that we refuse to talk about, but we let these things just go out of control. They spin out of control. And that's why so many of our sisters are caught up in the web.
Mm-hmm. I understand. You think a lot of married men go to sex parties?
Yes.
And you think these married men, because you said they're not using any condoms?
No.
So they're in these
every
parties.
year, 2 times a year, January and September, when your husband leaves to go out of town on a business trip, And they come to Atlanta, they're coming to sex parties.
So January will
Face
be
it.
Martin Luther
Just
King
stop being in denial.
January.
January and September, Martin Luther King weekend, Labor Day weekend, Atlanta is popping with sex parties.
I think for a lot of us, it's just hard to believe that so many men could be so reckless in with their health and their wives' health and their partner's health.
They don't care. That nut is much more important. You know, a sex addiction is a strong thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't understand just how deep it goes.
I've had a lot of my friends discuss their sexual addiction problems, and the stories they've told me over the years, I just kind of sat back and shocked. You know, I've lost a lot of people who died from HIV-related AIDS and all this other stuff. So for me, I've always been very cautious about certain things that I am in person. Like I said, I've never been to a sex party and stuff. I've heard about this stuff for years, years and years and years. And I really appreciate you coming out and discussing this so openly. You think that people are going to be attacking you or saying negative things to you about?
I've been attacked already for writing these 2 books. Like I said, when you speak the truth, people are going to come at you. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I can just say that if you do attack me and I know that you're in one of these sex groups, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
You're not going to put them on blast?
I will put you on blast. If you come at me negatively because of what I said and I never called your name out, and you come at me in my inbox or on a post, or you talking about me in another group and I find out, I will put your name out there. I will put pictures out there. I will go for the whole 9 yards. So just don't do it.
So why do these guys do that? Why do they get so upset about something that they're doing?
Because
why do something that, you know, my whole thing is, if I'm not going to do something I don't want anybody else to know anything about, or that's just me. I'm not going to participate in something that...
Everybody is different from you. You know, we all have our own train of thoughts. And just because you feel that way, that don't mean that the next person is going to feel that way. So, you know, Tom can be out here screwing everybody, but he doesn't want everybody to know his business. So he feels that what stays behind closed doors needs to stay behind closed doors, and don't tell his business or even give an inkling that you're even talking about him. And that's going to piss him off if he finds out.
Gotcha. And that's just something that comes with this lifestyle?
Yeah, it just doesn't come with the gay lifestyle. It comes with life, period. It's life, period. A lot of people are out here doing a lot of things that's not right, and they just don't want nobody to know.
All right, so we were discussing this from a gay perspective. Do you think straight people have these types of same parties and functions?
Yeah, trapeze here in Atlanta.
I know about trapeze. I've heard about it. You ever been there?
No. You gotta be straight. I could have went, you know, but you know, I have I know some girls that go to trapeze.
And they have sex when they go there?
Yeah. You have to go in with a couple, you know, you and a girl or you and a boy.
Well, you don't have to be in a couple. I've heard that you can go single, but just pay a little bit more money.
If you're a girl.
Okay.
Men have to go in with somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you paying a little extra, then you got a little thing going, but who is ever at the door? But these are the rules.
So men have to have a woman.
Yes. Yeah, you can't go in with your homeboy.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I hope that this was an enlightening conversation, that people learned something.
I hope so too. I feel that a lot of us, you know, we get on Facebook and we post our HIV status, and we say, "Oh, you know, I just got tested today, so I'm negative." But then you turn around and you go out there and you have unprotected sex again. That just wiped away what you just did, and HIV stays in your system. It can hibernate in your system for 7 to 10 years. So when you go out and you have sex,
if they're not getting tested,
if you're not getting tested, it can hibernate, and it can hibernate for 7 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. So each time you go out there and you have unprotected sex in this day and age, you put yourself back at HIV every single time. There's a risk for it every single time. So by you posting that I'm negative status, it's just irrelevant, because you're going to go out there and have unprotected sex again. What's the point? And you also have to think about that when you are having sex with somebody unprotected, you have to think about yourself and think about the next person. You could be having sex with up to 5 people unprotected. That person can be having sex with up to 5 people unprotected. So basically, you're having sex with 10 people unprotected, but not counting the other 5 people that person then had, and the other 5 person that your partner then had. So all this just continues to magnify.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who are
reckless
heartbeat.
behavior. And like you said, it's not just Atlanta things. I don't want people to think that we're attacking Atlanta because it's not just Atlanta.
No, this is every single where we're just here in Atlanta, so we see it. It's more prevalent here because we see it because it's in our face. But if you're on Facebook and you're in different sex groups, you know it goes on everywhere. I have friends that live in this state and that state and this state and that state. And once you add this person to that group, you get to see just how big this thing is.
So we're at 20 minutes. There's his books again, How It All Happened, Samuel P. Holloway,
Eyes Without a Face.
Eyes Without a Face. You can read, you can see those videos we did before. You can also find, where can we get these books?
My books are on my website at www.samuelholloway3.com. Again, that's www.samuelholloway3.com. Or you can visit them on Amazon. Go to Amazon, and you can read 3 chapters for free just by clicking on the book.
All right. We're out of here. We're a little over time limit here. And thanks. I hope you all learned something from today's videos. And we're out.